Hey guys, let's get more news about Dolphins, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Mike McDaniel explains why Dolphins signed polarizing player. The Miami Dolphins haven't been the most active team at the start of the new league year, signing veterans to their roster. They've had a busier offseason, losing some of their key starters on both sides of the ball rather than adding them to their team. The signings general manager Chris Greer has made for the team haven't been big. One signing was polarizing, but for the wrong reasons. In a desperate effort to rebuild the inefficient offensive line, the Dolphins re-signed guard Liam Eichenberg to a 2-year deal. This move was immediately met with heavy criticism, as he has shown in his 4 seasons playing for Miami that he can't protect quarterback Tua Tagovailoa in the pocket. Last season, Eichenberg allowed 29 pressures on the quarterback, 3 hits and 2 sacks. Pro Football Focus gave Eichenberg an overall grade of 53.1 and a pass protection of 49.7. Unless the Dolphins use their first and second round picks on the offensive line, especially the interior, Eichenberg will be the starting left guard. Head coach Mike McDaniel appreciates having a veteran like Eichenberg back in the locker room, but he also understands the situation surrounding the team. McDaniel spoke to Palm Beach Post's Joe Schad on Monday, Maridor 31, to talk about the puzzling move to bring back Eichenberg, potentially as a starter. McDaniel responded to Eichenberg's locker presence as a good thing, but also acknowledged the lackluster play in the past. McDaniel gave a stern but fair assessment of how Eichenberg will have to earn his title as a starter this upcoming season. Liam has taken some bullets and some losses, but great teammate, added value, and we're happy to have him on the Dolphins. And for him to be a starter, he's gonna have to be his best version of himself that he's ever been. McDaniel added that the offensive line is going to be a priority to address moving forward. The Dolphins feel confident that newly signed James Daniels will be 100% healthy as one of the starting guards. They also feel confident with the development of center Aaron Brewer and are giving right tackle Austin Jackson more chances. The biggest concern is with left tackle Taron Armstead, who suffered a torn ACL near the end of last season. The Dolphins are preparing for him to miss the entire 2025 season. Miami must find reliable starters at left tackle and interior offensive line, even if that means battling Eichenberg for the starting spot. Eichenberg, however, has lost the benefit of the doubt as an automatic starter on the team. Eichenberg has to earn his title as the starter. Dolphins trade proposal lands $98 million All-Pro. The Miami Dolphins secondary is led by star cornerback Jalen Ramsey and then has a bunch of uncertainty after that. With 2 new safeties and a second-year player set to line up across from Ramsey, the Dolphins are going to have to make a lot of changes to their secondary to compete. Their higher draft picks will most likely be used on safeties or the defensive line, so to fix the cornerback position, they are going to have to look at the trade market. The Dolphins need a more experienced and proven corner across from Ramsey to help them compete against top offenses and to make sure that they have at least one solid area on the defense. The Dolphins really struggled in coverage last year, and with Ramsey only getting older, they have to bring in some help. That is where the Baltimore Ravens come in to make a deal with Miami. The Dolphins would receive Marlon Humphrey and the Ravens' first-round pick for defensive back Storm Duck, the Dolphins' first-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and a 5th-round pick. The trade helps out both teams, and the Dolphins can bring in a stud experienced corner. Marlon Humphrey is a 28-year-old 6'0", 203-pound cornerback who is a 4-time Pro Bowler and a 2-time first-team All-Pro selection. Humphrey had 67 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 6 interceptions, and 15 pass deflections last year for the Ravens in 16 games. He also added 8 tackles in the Ravens' 2 playoff games. Humphrey is a very smart and talented cornerback that is strong, has great ball skills, really good hands, and has elite play recognition. Humphrey is really good at reading the quarterback's eyes, disrupting plays, and making plays on the ball. He had a career high in interceptions last year and tied his career high for pass deflections. All these good things may make it seem like the Ravens wouldn't trade him, but his stats do not tell the whole story. Humphrey got off to a slow start last season and then picked it up and ended the season strongly. Humphrey struggled when matched up against top wide receivers and showed he is not just going to take a team's best wide receiver out of the game. The Ravens secondary has struggled for some years now, and Humphrey has been at the helm of it every year. The Ravens need another cornerback and will most likely draft one in this draft trade, whether or not. One of their lone bright spots in the secondary was rookie Nate Wiggins, and they may want to move on from the 28-year-old Humphrey after seeing his struggles and go all in on a younger and new secondary. The Ravens would be moving up in the draft, which gives them a lot of options. The Ravens' biggest needs are offensive line, receiver, cornerback, safety, and defensive line. With the 13th pick in the draft, the Ravens would have a lot of options. They could pick players like Will Johnson, Tetairoa McMillan, Matthew Golden, Mike Green, Kelvin Banks Jr., Gray Zabel, or Malachi Starks. They also would be keeping almost all of their draft picks while gaining an additional 4th and 5th round picks. All of this draft capital will help them fill out whatever positions they do not draft in the first round. Not to forget, they would also be getting Storm Duck, who is an extremely talented and young cornerback who is going into just his second season. Duck could be a starter or an important rotational piece for the Ravens secondary. This could allow them to fix their cornerback depth by drafting one and bringing in Duck. They would get younger at cornerback and not have to worry about drafting multiple of them. For the Dolphins, besides bringing in Humphrey, they would also get to stay in the first round and not have to worry about getting a corner in the draft. The Dolphins could still pick a safety, a defensive lineman, or an offensive lineman in the first round. They would also still have a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 3 7th round picks to fill out the rest of the roster. The trade would benefit both teams and allow the Dolphins to get more experience at corner, while allowing the Ravens to get younger at corner. The Dolphins bringing in Humphrey would be a great way to give this defense some hope going into next season. And you fan, what do you think about Marlon Humphrey's situation? Write to us in the comments.